Hi guys, you're welcome to my channel again. In today's video, we're gonna be looking at Foundry. We have introduced ourselves to Foundry. We've explained how to install Foundry, how to we've gone through the folder and everything, the project itself. So we've introduced ourselves to it. So in today's video, we're gonna be looking at how can we deploy or how can we set up our Foundry project. As all know, Foundry is a framework that we use to deploy our smart contracts. So Foundry is a framework that we use to deploy our smart contract, as I said. And I think if you are just watching this, you have to refer to the last what they call the last video where I introduce you to Foundry and how to install and all those processes. So, but in this video, what we'll be focusing on how to set up our Foundry, how to write a simple storage contract, and how to deploy the contracts. And we are gonna use. I've been in the last class. I talked about cast. So in this video, we're going to be using cast to interact with our smart contracts we've deployed. Yeah, so that's it. So let's quickly start. So the first thing if you want to start Foundry after I've created my folder, the next thing is to use forge init as the first command. So this command is going to generate the frameworks for us, or let's say the folders that we can use. So in our last video, I think I explained all the folders and what they do to us. I explained how they work. So we all know. So yeah, so let's start from here. So this is a contract. So our own contract we want to be using is not counter. So we have our own contract we're going to be writing. So all we just need is to delete this since we don't need it. So we delete this. We don't need it for now. So this is where we are writing the source is the folder we're writing our main contract. So let's just create a contract. We can call it simple storage storage.so. So that's it. So the first thing is to use our SPDX license. So if you have been following the Solidity tutorial, you should have known what this means. So Solidity license, then identifier. Yeah, so let's just say MIT. So then the next thing is to write pragma. So yeah, we can remove this or any of it. So it's either use license or unlicense anyone. So let's just put this version 8.8.0. So you can use any version, depends on how you're writing. So we're going to start our contract, just simple storage, as I say, we just get the number and set the number. So contract, we call it simple storage, sorry, storage. Then we write our contract, just simple one. So you in 256 public, then my number. So then the next thing is to just write the function. So yeah, so the function we can just call it set number. So then let's set the number for us. So you can just call these, just call this local variable underscores my number. So we don't need to return anything since we are just trying to set a number. So then we say my number should equals to, so we are equating it to this. So whenever you put any number here, it should have this. So yeah, let us take the second one, the one that will get the number for us. So gets number, then public view, we're gonna use view. Then returns. We're using returns. What are we returning? We're return 256. Then then we return my number. So this is just a simple storage contract that we can set a number and we can get a number. So let's quickly just look at how can we do this. So having written this, the next thing we're gonna be doing, you kind of compile. So if you want to compile, either use Forge compile or use Forge build. So any of it is gonna work. So it's installing it for us. So any of this is gonna compile the contract for us. You get. So yeah. So okay. So it's giving us an error here from this guy. Where is it from the script? So let's just delete the script. Let's delete the script since we don't need it. So the text, so let's check for the text. Is there any contract for text here? So let's delete this. So so yeah, so we're gonna have only our own contracts with just written. So let's run the command again. So you see it compile sharply, very fast. So that's compiled. Now the next thing we're going to be doing is to deploy this contract. So if you want to deploy a contract in Foundry, we have two ways of deploying it. Is that you write a script for it, or all you just need to do is just write forge, forge create. Yeah, and also we need to create another what's it called, that terminal where we run our Anvil. Anvil is just like a Ganache, a local blockchain, a Ganache CLI. So we can just run our Anvil here. So we're gonna start the how they got the local blockchain for us. So let's say we want to deploy this contract without writing any script. So we can just write forge create, use this word create. Then the name of the contract, which is simple, what's the name? So simple storage. So this is enough to, yeah, okay. So here we're having an issue. Why? What's the issue? Issue is that they said we need to put our private key and other stuff. So if you want to check any command that we've forgotten, so we can use for dash help to give us the commands we need. So if you come here, we check the flag, the create flag, so it can help us. So say deploy smart contract. So okay, I think it's not showing what to do. Okay, but this is what to do. So once you've used this create, then we need to use dash dash rpc dash url. So we can come here and copy the rpc here. So this is the rpc for our Anvil. So I just say http then dash slash, yeah. So we can use it this way. That's our RPC. Then we have our private key. So we say dash 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 private key. So because it's one that's going to sign the transaction. So dash dash private key. So we can get our private key from here, from our Anvil. So Anvil is just like a local government, as I said. So it's gonna have like what they call like 10 accounts, 10 different accounts. So let's just pick the first one. Let's use the first one. So if you come here and you put the private key. So after this, we're gonna be talking about how can we put our private key in environment variable and the likes. So with this, I think it should work. Yeah, see, deploy. So it deploy our contract for us without. So this is the first place. So without transaction hash ID. So if you come back to the Anvil, you're gonna see the transactions of the what do you call of the contracts we just deploy. You see, so this is the contract we created, the transaction and the gas use block number one. So that's a function of it just represent the local blockchain for us. So yeah, so that's the first step. Now the next one we're gonna be doing the other way we can deploy this contract is to write a script for it. So let's quickly write a script. So we go to the script folder and we want to write, I want to give it a name, so we can call it any name. So let's just call it simple storage. So we're gonna put .s.so. So this is how to write the extension when you want to write a script. So we're gonna have the .s.so. So yeah, so the next thing is to just come here. You just have to just copy since it is solidity. So one thing about Foundry, as I explained it in the previous class too, that whatever you are doing is based on solidity. You are writing everything in solidity. You are deploying your script in solidity. You are writing your test in solidity. So all those stuff that will be in solidity. So you're gonna follow solidity script. So the next thing here we're gonna be doing is to import. We're gonna import our script. So we're gonna import our scripts. So when you import our script from, so we're gonna import the script from somewhere. So we're gonna import the script from our this guy. So we're gonna import the script from the what is it called? The Forge STD. So the script will be imported from here. So if we come here, this is it. Then if we come to source, yeah, so you should see the script here. So I can just come here and copy the path. This is the script of copying. So we just put the path here. So all we just need is to remove all these ones. We don't need them. Then we're gonna have that dash get, so that's been imported. Then the next thing is to import the contract we wanna deploy. So we're gonna import our contracts from here. What's the name of the contract? What's the name? Simple storage, right? So this is it. Then from where? So we are importing it from, what should do dot slash. So from the source slash simple storage. So yeah, so that's the next step. Now the next one is to start writing our contract. So we call it contract, then simple storage, give it a name, maybe deploy simple storage, deploy simple storage. Then you're gonna inherit the script. And the script we imported. Yeah, so that's the next thing. Now, the next one we're gonna be doing is to write a function to deploy our contract. So we use deploy that you can use run. You're gonna use the keyword run, the function run. So we're gonna make it a public. Then we're gonna return our contract. So which is this. Let's copy it. So I'm going to return this. Then yeah, so the next thing you want to be doing is to use the keyword VM. So VM dot start broadcast. So this is like a measurement telling you from where you want to start um, deploying, and we're gonna have VM that stops the transaction that tell the what they got the code where to stop. So whatever we want to deploy now will be within this to the start broadcast and the VM dot start how was it called stop. This should be stop, not start, stop broadcast. So to deploy is kind of very easy. If you have been following the previous video on solidity based the fundamentals of solidity, so we wrote a contract called factory contract on how to deploy a contract. So that's just the same thing as happening here. So it's not just the same thing. So if you want to, the first thing is to write the to call the contract name itself. Use it as a what is it called? Use it as a data type. Then give it us and give it a simple store and give it a local variable simple store then which is equals to use new keyword. So this new keyword, what it's doing is to generate a new contract. We've used something like this in our previous videos, in the Solidity video. So how to use new keyword to generate new smart contract. So that's just the thing that's happening here. Then you call the name of the contract again, you want to deploy, and boom. With this, we have successfully, what they call, successfully created a new contract. Now, the next thing we're gonna be doing is to just return the simple store contract that you just generated, which is this, and boom, we are done with writing our contract. So we are done with writing this contract. All we just need to do is to run the command this command. So this command, what you just do since you're using script this time, you're not using create. So you just the same thing, the same arrangements, just to remove this and put script instead of create. And here we're gonna show the path we wanna do what they call I wanna run. So let me say we say scripts slash. So what's the name of that path? So the name of the path is simple storage. Simple storage. Storage.s.so. So with this, I think you're good to go. So we've added our our PC URL, then the private key. Yeah, so you can run it this way, or we can let's run it this way first. Okay, it's not working. So the path is the name the path is I said contract source information format must be path, then contract name. So yeah, so let's do that again. I think this is where we're having the issue. So let me see. What's it? Okay, it is scripts, not scripts. So yeah, this is where we're having the issue. Cool. Scripts, not scripts. So this should deploy the contract. Then we're gonna be looking at once this is deployed, we're gonna be looking at how to what do you call? Yeah, yeah, cool. So it deploys. Yeah, it has deployed. So it's using 5G rail. Oh yeah, so that's it. So it deploys the contract and with some warnings and likes. So yeah, this is one way of deploying the contract. So if you want more information, so let's go and check our Anvil. We have another transaction. Yeah, I think this is another transaction. Is this another transaction? Okay, because we don't what do you call? Yeah, I think this is the transaction. Okay, yeah. So We have successfully deployed this. So this is the one way. So we can also deploy this as well. We can also deploy this way, the same thing, but we're gonna use what we call dot broadcast to broadcast our transaction. Use broadcast. So this is gonna broadcast the transaction. Cool. See, it's gonna tell us, gonna give us more informations than you see, gonna show us our ID. What the former one does not show us anything, but this one shows us hash ID, the name, then the block number, which is block number two, and the like. So let's try to check now and the amount of gas we've paid. Yes. So the amount of gas we've paid, yeah, so the amount of gas we've paid, I think this should broadcast now, yeah. So it's because we don't use broadcast, that's why we don't see it before. So I think this is the broadcast flag, so we see it. So we can also add interactive to interactive interactive interactive. So this is another keyword. Okay, I think we are unable to use it. Okay, yeah. If you want to use interactive, that's we won't use all these private key of a thing. So we need to remove private key if you want to use interactive. So we can just run it with this. Okay, so let's see where is issue coming from. I think I'm not getting this right. So fault script. Then the first, if you want to use interactive, so you have to use this. Then we're gonna use the address. We're gonna use interactive. Then for private. So it's gonna be arranged accordingly. So let's just leave the interactive stuff. We're gonna work on that later. Okay. I think it's we are wrong with the what they call. We're actually wrong with the statement, the way we use it. So let's try and run it again. It needs to have X, I think. Okay. Let's use this. Okay, so we'll come back to the interactive. So that's the first way. Now, the only issue here with this deploying normally without using what's it called is that we have exposed our our private key, we've exposed our RPC. So how can we like at least put it in a safe place? So this is where RPC comes in play. So we're gonna be looking at how do we use um environment variable rather. So let's see how we can use environment variable here. So we just try to create .env folder. So this .env we call it the first one. Let's call it private private underscore key. So that's it. Then we're gonna have our RPC URL. So the first one is this. Then we are to copy this private key. Let's copy the private key, put this in our env file. Then we copy the RPC2. So we're gonna put it here too. So please you need to you need to be reminded this should not be shown to anyone. The private key should not be shown to anyone. So once you have your git ignore, so you can come here to confirm maybe it's written, yeah. So they have git ignore. So what the git ignore does is whenever you're pushing your code to the private to the GitHub, so it's not going to push these things along, all these things here. It's not going to push it along with the your code, all this your cache, your output folder, your cache folder, broadcast folder. So all these guys here will not be shown on the what they call on the GitHub. So that's the more reason why we are using. That's why we're using git ignore. It's going to ignore everything. So whenever you're not using environment variable, you need to put it here so as not to go and push this together with your GitHub to your GitHub, and some might have access to your private key from there with your phone and other stuff. So that's but this is because this is an environment variable, development variable, what's it called? Development phase, and I'm using just a local blockchain. So that's why this is being exposed. So the one don't expose your private key. Now, so having done this, the next thing is to do this to just use a keyword source.env. So what you're telling this terminal now, the CLI now, that whenever you use source.env, it's going to identify the private key and the RPC URL that is inside the environment variable. So once I click on enter, so from here you can do echo slash sorry dollar sign RPC underscore URL. So it's going to print out your RPC. So private, the same thing if you do echo dollar sign private underscore key. So it's going to print out your private key. Okay, sorry, there's a mistake here. So we're going to put E. So it's going to print out the private key. So with this, we have this now. So we can then use this guy here. Let's remove this. Then instead of using our private key, instead of using this, so we can just use dollar sign private. Let's just copy it from here. We have to save our time. So let's just copy and put it here. Then we can just eliminate these two. Instead of exposing our RPC URL, so we can just use this, copy it and put it here. So yeah, so with this, all right, was wrong. Say bad fork URL. Where's the issue coming from? Where's the issue coming from? Saying back fork URL. Is our URL not correct? Okay, yeah. The reason is that we are not putting the dollar sign, so it's not getting the what we call URL. So it should work now. It's gonna work now. Yeah, cool. So it deploys. So it deploys and shows everything we need. So that's how to use this, and that's how to deploy our contracts. So in the next video, we're going to be looking at how to use our cast to interact with our contracts. All right. So let's meet in the next video.